What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. College men's basketball. Virginia Cavaliers versus Duke Blue Devils. This is the championship game for the ACC tournament. So Virginia's 10 nation, 29-4 record. Duke is 1 nation, 31-2 record. This game's in Charlotte, North Carolina, so I'm sure it's a home field advantage for Duke. So for stats, Duke is more points per game. Virginia's more points against. Duke is a higher field goal percentage. Virginia's more rebounds per game. Duke is more assists per game. Virginia's more blocks per game. And Duke is more steals per game. These stats are pretty close. I think home field advantage is going to matter here. So I think Duke will beat Virginia tomorrow. Houston Cougars versus Arizona Wildcats. This is the championship match for the Big 12 tournament. So Houston is 5 nation, 28-5 record. Arizona is 2 nation, 31-2 record. For stats, Arizona has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game is even. So, this is in Kansas City, Missouri. So, not really home field advantage here. With these stats, most of them favoring Arizona, with Arizona being higher ranked, having more wins, less losses. I think Arizona will beat Houston tomorrow. Wisconsin Badgers versus Michigan Wolverines. So this is part of the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. Wisconsin is 23 nation, 24-9 record. Michigan's 3 nation, 3-2 record. And this is in Chicago, Illinois. So I don't think home advantage is going to matter much here. So for stats, Michigan has more points per game. Wisconsin's more points against. Michigan's a higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. So like all the stats favor Michigan, and Michigan has more wins, less losses, ranked higher. So I think Michigan will beat Wisconsin tomorrow. Purdue Boilermakers versus UCLA Bruins. Uh, this is part of the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. So this is in Chicago, Illinois. So home field advantage may not matter here, although Purdue's a lot closer than UCLA. So Purdue is 18 nation, 25-8 record. UCLA is unranked, 23-10 record. For stats, Purdue has more points per game. UCLA has more points against. Purdue has a higher field goal percentage. It has more rebounds per game, assists per game. UCLA has more blocks per game and steals per game. So like most of the stats favor Purdue, and Purdue is ranked unlike UCLA, and Purdue has more wins, less losses. So I think Purdue will beat UCLA tomorrow. Vanderbilt Commodores versus Florida Gators. This is part of the semifinals of the SEC tournament. Vandy's 22 in the nation, 25-7 record. Florida's 4 in the nation, 26-6 record. For stats, Florida's more points per game. Vandy has more points against. Field goal percentage is even. Florida has more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and Vandy has more steals per game. So since this is SEC tournament, this is in Nashville, Tennessee, so it's like a home game for Vanderbilt, and the fully effects probably in effect a little bit of Vanderbilt. So this could be a really good game. I think with it being at Nashville, I think Vanderbilt will beat Florida tomorrow. NBA. Charlotte Hornets versus San Antonio Spurs. The Hornets have a 42.4% chance to win. The Spurs have a 57.6% chance to win. This is at San Antonio. For injuries, for the Hornets, Salon and McNeely are out, and White and Cockbrenner are game time decisions. For the Spurs, Harper, Wibanyama, and Miller game time decisions, and Jones Garcia's out. For stats, Spurs have more points per game. Hornets have more points against. Spurs have a higher field goal percentage, and then more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Spurs will beat the Hornets tomorrow. Orlando Magic versus Miami Heat. The Magic have a 48.3% chance to win. The Heat have a 51.7% chance to win. This is at Miami. For injuries, for the Magic, Morales, Isaac, Wagner, and Black are out. For the Heat, Jovic and Wiggins are out, and Smith, Powell, and Harrow are game time decisions. Uh, for stats, the Heat have more points per game, points against. Field goal percentage is even. Um, Heat have more rebounds per game, assists per game. Magic have more blocks per game, and Heat have more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Heat will beat the Magic tomorrow. Denver Nuggets versus Los Angeles Lakers. The Nuggets have a 50.5% chance to win. The Lakers have a 49.5% chance to win. This is at LA. For injuries, for the Nuggets, Murray and Gordon are game time decisions, and Watson's out. For the Lakers, Hayes is a game time decision, and Clever's out. For stats, the Nuggets have more points per game, points against. Lakers have a higher field goal percentage. Nuggets have more rebounds per game, assists per game. Lakers have more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Lakers will beat the Nuggets tomorrow. College baseball. Mississippi State Bulldogs versus Arkansas Razorbacks. Mississippi State is 3 in the nation, 15-3 record. Arkansas is 5 in the nation, 13-5 record. This is at Arkansas. So, this is game 2. So, first game of a doubleheader. So, this could be a big game. Could be big. I think, Arkansas won game 1. So they're ahead 1-0 series. If they win game 2, they clinch it. If Mississippi State wins, the series is tied, and game 3 clinches the series. I think with this one, with it being game 2, where that is a day where you'll have your better pictures, like game 1's game 2, like games 1 and 2 are where your best pitchers are. But that, I think, and with it being at Arkansas, I think Arkansas will beat Mississippi State tomorrow. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets versus Clemson Tigers, game 3. So yeah, so Tech's up 2-0 in the series. So Clemson has to try to salvage one tomorrow. This is at Clemson, so that should help. Georgia Tech is 4 nation, 17-2 record. Clemson's 11 nation, 15-4 record. So this could be a good game. I think Clemson will salvage a win. Obviously, they can't win a series, but I think they'll at least salvage a win tomorrow. Florida State Seminoles versus Wake Forest Demon Deacons. So yeah, so this is game 2. Florida State won game 1, so if they win game 2, they clinch the series. If Wake Forest wins, it's tied and series decided by game 3. So Florida State's 20 nation, 14-3 record. Wake Forest is 12 nation, 15-3 record. So this is at Wake Forest, so that could be a big big game. Two ranked teams. Power conference teams. Wake Forest has been good in baseball in recent years, and Florida State has a long history in baseball. This could be a good game, and with this being one of the games where you get your good pictures, like good pitchers in, so I think you know I don't I think Florida State's up 1-0. I think Wake Forest ties it tomorrow, so I think Wake Forest beats Florida State tomorrow. Mississippi State Bulldogs versus Arkansas Razorbacks, game 3. So this is the second game of a doubleheader. So this is same place at Arkansas. Mississippi State's 3 nation, 15-3 record. Arkansas's 5 nation, 13-5 record. This could be a really good game. Like like I think Arkansas's win game 2. So and I don't think and Arkansas are 1 game 1. I don't think this is a series that will go 3-0. So I think Mississippi State will beat Arkansas in game 3 tomorrow. Tennessee Volunteers versus Georgia Bulldogs. Uh, game 2. So Tennessee won game 1. So yeah. So Tennessee wins tomorrow, they clinch it. If Georgia wins, it's tied, and it's clinched in game 3. So yeah. So Tennessee is 19 in the nation, with a 14-4 record, and Georgia's 8 nation, 15-4 record. So yeah, so this could be a good game. You know, I think with it being in Athens, that's gonna matter. So basically, I think Georgia will be able to tie the series tomorrow, and beat Tennessee tomorrow. Texas A&M Aggies versus Oklahoma Sooners. So this is at Oklahoma. So A&M is 22 nation, 15-2 record. Oklahoma's 9 nation, 16-2 record. You know, as far as like game 1 went, that one, so Oklahoma won, and yeah, with the generally your better pitchers pitching tomorrow for both teams, I think it could be a good game with how ranked these teams are. I think Oklahoma will beat Texas A&M tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.